So we're increasing or decreasing by a percentage. So I said before, every percentage question, you're looking to see, is there a percent sign in the question? Chances are that means you're finding that percentage of an amount that's been given. This question, Sally's daily wage of $175 is increased by 15%. Calculate her new daily wage. There's two ways you can do it. You can just find 15% of 175 and add it on. That will work. If they cruelly decreased her daily wage by 15%, you'd find 15% of 175 and take it away. This would work, but there is more working if you do it that way. So we'll do one this way just so we know we've done it. 15% of 175. This is one of those percent of an amount ones, so we change our percent to a fraction. 15 over 100 of is times the amount. And grab our calculator, and I will cheat and work out that that is $26.25. Now that's 15%. Do not give that as your answer, because if my daily wage went from 175 to 26.25, I'd be very unhappy. So you'd have to show you're working for the new wage is $175 plus $26.25. I'm okay if you don't have the dollar signs and you're working, by the way. So 201.25. It was a word question. You would give a word answer. Calculate her new daily wage. Sally's new daily wage. Can't spell. Is $201.25. As long as that dollar sign is there in the answer, I don't mind if it's not there and you're working. In fact, it makes you working a little easier. So that's find the percentage and add it or subtract it. That is a fair bit of working. Our other option, her original wage of 175 was 100%. We want to add on 115%. We can find, so we want to add on 15% to 100%. We can find 115% of the original amount. 115% of 175, 115 divided by 100 times 175 is 201.25. So that cut out a whole couple of lines of working, and of course then word answer. By saying instead of finding 15% and adding or subtracting, add the 15 to the 100% and find 115%. So over time, that cuts back on quite a lot of working. Just as an aside, we just reminded ourselves about a quick division, dividing by 100. 115 divided by 100 is just 1.15. So when you're doing this with the calculator, when you see 115 over 100 times 1.75, you can actually speed up a lot of your working if you go, I know that is 1.15 times 175, get the answer. It's a lot quicker. Over and over again, in year 12 especially, I'm going to say, right, multiply by 1.15 or 1.25 or whatever, and you're going to say why, and I'm going to say because we're increasing by 15%. If you multiply by 1.15, you're increasing by 15%. Multiply by 1.5, you're increasing by 50%. Decrease works exactly the same way. So let's really quickly get a question. I'm on example 24 if you're interested. Calculate the percentage discount, so immediately know that something has dropped. If a price of $38 drops to $32. So notice I said when you're looking at the question, does it have the percent symbol? This doesn't. This has the percentage discount that they're asking you for. So they're asking you for a percentage. And I just realized I turned 2 pages at once, so I wasn't going to teach you this yet, but I'll teach you this anyway. So this is asking you for the percentage. This isn't saying you're 15% off, what's the new price? This is saying this was the drop, what was the discount? So your percentage change is the change over the original, so that gets you the, as a fraction, times 100% to get it to be a percentage. So discount is the discount over the original, and increase is the increase over the original. From 38 to 32, what was the change in price?
6.
So it was a $6 discount out of a $38 original price. You've got to check the 2 prices and work out which one was the original and multiply by 100%. Let's do that on the calculator there. 6 divided by, oh, we can never see it, 38. Get your answer, multiply by 100. 15.79, rounding to 2 decimal places there, and that is a percent. You say times by 100% to remind you that you're putting in that percentage sign in the answer. So that was a 15.79% discount. What I actually meant to do was a percentage decrease. So this is going back to the same sort of question we had before. So we're doing a fun run. In fact, we're doing the charity walk next week or something. Yeah. And they reduce the original distance. Is reduced from 2.75 kilometers by 20%. Find the new distance. So they reduce the run distance by 20% to make us feel better. I don't know, it's too hard or something like that. So we could find 20% of this distance and take it away from that. Or I could say, look, that was 100%, take away 20%, I want to find 80% of the distance. 80% of 2.75 kilometers. Again, the percentage sign was in the question. I'm finding that percentage of an amount. Don't put the kilometers in your working, it just gets confusing. Change your percentage to a fraction over 100 of is times 2.75. And again, if you're feeling confident, 80 divided by 100 is just 0.8 times 2.75, 2.2, word answer, the new distance is 2.2 kilometers. You would get the same answer if you found 20% and took it away. You're also quite welcome to always type in 80 divided by 100 times 2.75. It's just a figure you guys can divide by 100. And in Year 12, you're going to ask me again, why are we doing times 0.8? And I will say, because we're reducing by 20%. So if you see times 1.05, that's increase by 50%. Times a number less than 1, that's a decrease by whatever the difference is between that and 1. You don't need to know that now, but we're going to keep coming back to it, and it's useful to know.